Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the grid connected inverter and its practical implementation. So primarily we will discuss about the circuit diagrams of this grid connected inverter. This grid connected inverter has two different parts. One is at the inverter side and other is in the grid side. So using the TPA-DT switch or TPST switch, we are going to interconnect these two inverter and as well as a grid. So coming to the inverter side, we'll discuss about the inverter side first. And in this inverter side, primarily the three-phase voltage, three-phase supply is given to the auto transformer. This auto transformer regulates the three-phase AC supply to the lower values for the sake of testing purposes. So this regulated AC supply will be given to the three-phase rectifier. This three-phase rectifier will convert AC to the DC. The output of the rectifier is a rippled DC. The ripples in the DC values will be eliminated using this capacitor, electrolytic capacitor, which is placed in the inverter stack. So the output of the pure DC output of this capacitor is given to the three-phase inverter. So now this three-phase inverter, the working of the three-phase inverter majorly depends upon the gate pulses given to the switches. So to giving this gate pulses, we should follow one procedure. Three-phase supply is taken from the grid, and with the help of auto transformer, we're going to reduce the voltage values to the lower values for testing again. So output of this auto transformer will be given to the isolation transformer. This isolation transformer will provide the electrical isolation between the grid and as well as the inverter. So output of this isolation transformer will be given to the TPST switch. So in between this TPST switch and isolation transformer, we'll place voltage sensors. So the main reason to place the voltage sensors in the grid side is by taking the line voltage values from the grid side and giving it for the generation of pulses. So the line voltage values and the output of the inverter values will have the same phase, and the phase matching takes place with the help of the LabVIEW program. So using the LabVIEW program, we can generate the SPWM pulses, and this SPWM pulses will be given to the switches. So we'll use SBRIO as an interface between the LabVIEW software as well as the gate driver circuits of the inverter. So the output of this three-phase AC inverter is given to the LC filter. So basically the output of the inverter is a stepped waveform and contains some harmonics, and to remove those harmonics we are using the LC filter. So the capacitors are connected and are delta connected, and the inductors are connected for the individual switches. So the output of the LC filter will be given to the TPST switch. So before closing the TPST switch, we should ensure three necessary conditions. One is the voltage, magnitude of the voltage of the inverter output as well as the isolation transformer output should be same, and the frequency of the inverter output and isolation transformer output should be same, and the phase sequence should be matched. So if we match these three conditions, then we should close the switch and interconnection takes place. So now we are going to see the components which are used for the grid connected inverter and their ratings. So the auto transformers which are used at both source side and grid side are of 470 volts and 10 amperes. So the voltage match, the magnitude of voltage is matched using this at the source side and grid side are matched using these auto transformers. And this is the inverter stack. So this inverter stack is a three-phase, 4 legs. You can see these are the 4 legs which are used, three-phase 4 legs, 750 volts and 35 amperes DC inverter stack. So this total inverter stack combination consists of rectifiers at this terminals of rectifiers, and then electrolytic capacitor here, and then four inverter legs. So in this we only using the 3-leg inverter, because our schematic circuit diagram has 3-leg inverter, so we're using the 3 legs out of this 4 legs. So these are the inputs for the pulses as a gate driver circuit. So after the inverter stack, we use LC filter. So for that LC filter, for each phase we use one inductor. 3 inductors we are using here, and each inductor is of 4 millihenry and of ferrite core inductors. And then the delta connected capacitors are of contact capacitors of 440 volts and 2.5 microfarads. So the output of the LC filter is given to the TPDT switch, and this TPDT switch, you can see that this three phases belongs to the inverter and these three phases belongs to grid. After satisfying the three conditions which we discussed above, that is voltage, magnitude of voltages should be same, the frequency should be same, and the phase sequence should be matched. After satisfying these three conditions, the switch of the TPDT switch will be closed and then interconnection takes place. This is an isolation transformer. This isolation transformer is placed after the auto transformer at the grid side. So it will provide basically the electrical isolation between inverter and as well as grid. So this isolation transformer input is coming from the three-phase grid supply, and the output of this isolation transformer is going to the TPDT switch. This is a delta-delta connected transformer. It is the rating of this transformer is 3-phase 3 kVA. And this is the voltage sensors. So voltage sensors which are placed after the isolation transformer and between before the TPDT switch, and these voltage transformer measures voltage sensors measure the line values of line values from the grid side. So these three voltage sensors will give the output of analog inputs, that is measured voltage values, to the SBREOs. So these three voltage sensors are powered using these regulated supplies, which are of plus or minus 12 volts or plus or minus 15 volts individually. And then this is the NI SBREO 9607 model. This SBREO acts as an interface between LabVIEW and as well as an inverter. So the analog inputs which are taken from the voltage sensors are given to the LabVIEW GUI, and then we are going to implement and control algorithm in the LabVIEW and generate a pulses of digital pulses. Those digital pulses will be taken out from the SBREO and given to the optocoupler and further given to the inverter. These are the optocouplers. These optocouplers provide an isolation between the SBREO and inverter. So if any reverse currents are flowing from the inverter, it provides an isolation. It will not allow those reverse currents into the SBREO. So these three optocouplers are powered by using the regulated power supplies of 20 volts. Now we'll see the practical implementation and live demo of the grid connected inverter. Now we are going to perform the practical implementation of grid connected inverter, and a live demo is shown. So here we see the three-phase supplies, and this three-phase supply is given to the inverter side, and this three-phase supply is used for grid connection. The three-phase supply taken from the grid is given to the grid side auto transformer. So grid side auto transformer is used to regulate the voltage for the testing purposes, and the output of the auto transformer will be given to the isolation transformer. This isolation transformer provides the electrical isolation between inverter and grid. So the primary side of the isolation transformer comes from the grid side auto transformer, and the secondary side of this isolation transformer will be given to the TPST switch. So the output of the isolation transformer will be given to the TPST switch. The three phases are R phase, Y phase and B phase. So by wiring the grid connected auto transformer, we will maintain 30 volts at the grid side. By using the multimeter, we are going to check the line voltages as 30 volts. So the line voltages for R and Y phase is 30 volts. For Y, the line voltage for Y and B phase is around 30 volts. The line voltage for B and R phase. So this is the first setup made at the grid side by maintaining the line voltages as 30 volts. Now we are moving to the inverter side. So now we are going to switch on the inverter supply. After switching on the inverter supply, a three-phase supply, the three-phase supply input will be given to the inverter auto transformer, inverter side auto transformer. The output of the inverter side auto transformer will be given to the inverter stack. So after giving the pulses, the output of the inverter will be a stepped waveform. So to reduce the harmonics in the output waveform, we will use LC filter. The three inductors are used for each phase, which is the ferrite core inductors, and then the capacitors are connected delta connected. These are called as contact capacitors. From the inverter side auto transformer, three phases R, Y and B are given to the rectifier as inputs, and the output of the rectifier is given as is a DC supply, the V plus and V minus. From this, to eliminate the ripples, the supply is given to the capacitors. The capacitor terminals are here DCV plus and DCV plus and DCV minus. And from capacitor, the output is given to the inverter 3 legs. This is leg 1, this is given as R phase, Y phase and B phase. The voltage from the grid side is given to the voltage sensor. These voltage sensors will measure the line voltages, and the power supply for this voltage sensors is given by the regulated power supply of plus or minus 12 volts. And then the voltage sensors output is given to the SBREO, and this analog output from the voltage sensors is fed to the LabVIEW program using the analog input pins of the SBREO. So after the LabVIEW program will generate the digital output pulses to the SBREO, and this pulses is given to the optocoupler. This optocoupler provides the electrical isolation between inverter and SBREO. So the power supply for this optocoupler is given through this regulated power supply of 20 volts. And then the output of the optocoupler, which are the pulses, are given to the gate driver circuit of the inverter. So the operation of this inverter will take place by giving the gate pulses to the switches. The gate pulses is given using the gate driver circuits. So by using the LabVIEW program, we are going to give pulses to this inverter. This is the front panel of the LabVIEW program, and the entire LabVIEW program will be explained in the later part of this video. By switching on the Boolean switch in the LabVIEW front panel, the SPWM pulses for each switch will be given. So in this 8-channel CRO, you can just visualize the 6 pulses which are going for the individual switches of the inverter. After giving pulses to the inverter stack, now we should vary the auto transformer so that the voltage value of the auto transformer will be equal to the grid side voltage, which is 30 volts in our case. So line voltage for the inverter side is been measured here for R and Y phase is approximately 30 volts. For Y and B phase, it is around 30 volts. For B and R phases, it is again around 30 volts. So the 3 conditions which we mentioned before, the first condition of maintaining the same voltage magnitude at both grid side and inverter side has been performed, which is around 30 volts in our case. And next we are moving to matching the phase sequences at both grid side and inverter side. Using these differential probes, we are going to measure the phases of both inverter and grid. So now the differential probes are connected for R and Y phase for grid side and R and Y phase for the inverter side. So now in the CRO you can see that both inverter and grid side RY phases have been matched. Now we'll check for another connection, which is Y and B of inverter and Y and B of grid. So again you can see in the CRO that both YB phases of inverter and grid are matched. So now finally the B and R phase of the inverter and B and R phase of the grid. Again in the CRO you can see that BR phase of both inverter and grid are also matched. So in this way the phase sequence of both grid and inverter is been matched. So after satisfying all the conditions of voltage and phase sequence matching, now we are ready to close the switch. So after closing the switch, the interconnection between the inverter and grid is going to take place. Now the flow of current from the inverter to grid can be visualized using CRO. So now by varying the duty in the LabVIEW program, the output current variation can be observed. Now we are going to see the practical implementation of giving the pulses to the inverter using the LabVIEW GUI. So LabVIEW consists of 2 different panels. One is the front panel and is the block diagram. So in this block diagram, we are going to see the logic of pulse generation. The output of the voltage sensors will be given to the inputs or analog inputs of the SBREO. So we use analog inputs 15 and 14 to sense the line voltage of the grid VAB and VBC. So the voltages VAB and VBC consist of higher order frequencies, and to eliminate these higher order frequencies, we are using the digital Butterworth filter. So in this digital Butterworth filter, we have an option of selecting either low pass or high pass filters. Here we want to eliminate the higher frequencies, so we are selecting the low pass filter. And the cutoff frequency of that low pass filter is 100 Hz, and the expected sample rate is 50 kilosamples per second. And this output of the Butterworth filter is given to the subtractor block. So this block subtracts the grid voltages VAB and VBC with the offset voltages. So after subtracting with the offset voltages, the output of the block will contain the actual VAB and VBC values. So here the VAB and VBC values are bundled and given to the three-phase PLL block. This PLL block is used to generate the phase omega t corresponding to the line voltages of grid by tuning the PI gains. So in this PLL block, we should select the input mode as a line value because we are measuring VAB and VBC, and the reference frequency is 50 Hz and sampling time is 8.4 microseconds. And the frequency we just fixed the limits will be 35 Hz to 85 Hz. And the tuning of the PI values can be done manually in the front panel. So the generated omega t will be given to the high throughput sine and cosine generator blocks, which will generate the three-phase waveforms with 120 degrees phase displacement each. To provide that 120 degrees displacement, we are adding this 120 degrees as 2 pi by 3 value to the omega t. So here we will get omega t plus 120 degrees and will be given to the sine and cosine generator block, which will generate sine omega t plus 120 and cos omega t plus 120. And in the next block, we will add another 120 degrees to get sine omega t plus 240 degrees or sine of omega t minus 120 degrees. So the outputs of this high throughput and sine and cosine generator block will be given to the DQ to ABC conversion block. And the two more inputs that will come to this block is ID reference and IQ reference. So here the ID reference and IQ reference are set manually, and we'll make sure that IQ reference will be 0 because the output values of grid should be in phase with the inverter. So we will be avoiding the quadrature component here. So this DQ to ABC conversion block will give the outputs of IA, IB and IC, which will be equal to IA equal to ID cos of omega t, IB equal to ID cos of omega t minus 120, and IC is equal to ID cos of omega t minus 240. And this block internally consists of the logic for the conversion of DQ to ABC. The outputs IA, IB and IC are sinusoidal waveform with 120 degrees displacement. This IA, IB and IC are taken as local variables in the single time loop of clock frequency 40 MHz. The IA, IB and IC are compared with the triangular waveform to generate the SPWM pulses. To generate the triangular waveform, we will use two variables, that is carrier frequency and height of triangular wave. So these carrier frequency and height of triangular wave are varied to change the switching periods of the pulses. So this IA is compared with the triangular waveform. If IA is greater than or equal to the triangular waveform, the pulse has been generated and given to the switch. The switches in each leg are complementary to each other. For that, we will generate the complementary pulses and give to the complementary switch. And the output pulses will be given to the edge delay. So edge delay is provided with the dead time. So the significance of the dead time is it will avoid the overlapping of the pulses. The control of the case structure is performed using the inverter switch. So initially inverter switch is in off position. That means the case structure is in false state. So during the false state, no pulses will be passed through this case structure. So when the inverter switch is turned on, this case structure changes from false to true state. During the true state, all the pulses are passed through the case structure to the digital output pins of SBREO. We will set the proportional gain value as 1, integral gain as 0.1, the carrier frequency as 0.02, that is 20 kHz, and height of triangular wave as 1. And we'll change the ID reference value from 0 to 1 and we'll observe the change in the current output current waveforms.
0.2. 0.4. 0.6. 0.8. 1.